and welcome to Small Town Big Business, a podcast about doing big business in small towns. I'm your co-host for today, Deb Barnett, and I'm also the Executive Director for Southern Illinois Now, where we focus on economic development in the 17 southernmost counties in Illinois.
And I'm Russ Williams. I'm Director of EThOs, Small Business Incubator, Co-working Spaces, Training and Development here at the Citadel Building on Tower Square Plaza in Marion, Illinois. We want to thank you for joining us, and we want to thank our sponsors. Couldn't make this possible 100 plus episodes without our sponsors. So thanks to Arcadia Wealth Group, Banterra Bank, Black Diamond Harley Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, Southern Illinois Now, the Swinford Media Group, Union Street Arts, and of course the Watermark Auto Group Foundation.
So we are so happy to have some folks here from Silkworm today, long-standing business in the city of Murphysboro. We have Cheryl Endres and Shaad Schubert. Did I get that correct?
You did.
All right. We kind of joked before we started that it could have all kinds of pronunciations, and I'm glad I got it right. So it is so good to have you both here today and just share Silkworm's story and also tips that have been learned over the years and successes, maybe things you might have done a little differently looking back, all of those things that might help some of our listeners. But let's start with how Silkworm started, because I hear it was over a ham and cheese sandwich. Is that right?
Theoretically, I guess,
Okay.
yeah. The big joke is Bob Chambers, who is the owner of Silkworm, started when he was a senior in high school. He was an athlete and a fine artist and a wrestler. They actually won conference or regionals or some title, and they all wanted T-shirts. Everybody wants a T-shirt.
Sure.
And so he and his art instructor did the design and cut the screen and printed T-shirts. And that's kind of like the rest is history. And then he went down in his dad's basement, and the ham and cheese comes in that his father, Gene, always had ham and cheese in the fridge so they wouldn't starve.
About what year would that have been?
That would have been 80, and then we are original, because he graduated in 80, and then originally 81 is our the OG founding date. So we've been around a long time.
Yeah,
81.
a long time.
And we're still only 30. I don't understand how that all works.
Yeah, well, it can happen.
You know.
Where did the name Silkworm come from?
Do you know, or do you want me to continue?
I only know kind of where it gets close to it, so I might botch a bit of it.
Well, the silkworm spins silk, and the screens were originally made of silk back in the day, and it originated in the Orient. So the silkworm is from the Orient, and there were no other companies with that name.
Yeah.
So that is how the maestros back
That's
in
a
the
classic
day
name.
came
It
up
really
with it.
is.
Yeah, silkworm.
Yeah, I love it.
Easy to remember, hard to
is.
forget.
So those are our listeners and watchers who are not from here. Where's Murphysboro, and how big of service area do you guys serve?
So Murphysboro is west of Carbondale. I don't know how far we're going through everything, but I feel like most people know Carbondale.
Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and just out of Murphysboro is where we are located.
And our service area is, we always like to say we're locally owned, regionally connected, and nationally recognized because we do business all over the United States.
That's awesome.
Wow. I love that. Locally owned, regionally connected, nationally recognized.
It's kind of like our shtick. And, obviously we have grown over the years, and our ties locally, as people are transient with this region, and especially with the university, they take us with them. It's I have calls a lot from customers who are like, hey, I'm at so-and-so now, and they don't have a silkworm. I'm like, what do you mean they don't have a silkworm? I'm like, there's no screen printing company or promotional product. Oh, no, they're here, but they're not you guys. Their service is horrible. They don't get it, blah, blah, blah. So
yeah.
we spoil our customers. And
what are your backgrounds before Silkworm?
like, what did we do? Went to school, played sports, partied in college, and had a grand old time in our youth. And
Did you go to SIU?
I'm a Murray State grad.
Murray State, okay.
Yeah, and I moved back to the area
Okay.
in '86.
Okay.
So the rest is history, as they say.
And I'm sure you've done a little bit of everything in the company.
We grew up in the company. That's
Yeah.
kind of what we like to say, that over the many years that we have been in business, we just have all kind of grown up in the company. And Shaad has been there now 18 years.
Okay.
So, transitioning to him makes sense because he has grown up in the company.
There you go. Did
So,
you have
yeah.
something of interest before Silkworm?
Well, I didn't have too much time to have much interest before then. I was 18 when I started. But I always had an interest in numbers. What I didn't know at the time is that I was interested in creating little small businesses. With being a musician, there was a lot of every band, as I've come to realize, is a small business that kind of starts up, and you have this just idea you want to create and you want to push something out into the world in different ways. And so, the cool thing about being at Silkworm is that they've always encouraged that growth and that expanding on that knowledge and kind of seeing, I don't know what they saw in me then, but but being able to kind of go, well, he really likes numbers, maybe the accounting areas where he could go, and it just kind of continued to go through multiple positions and learn and just kind of absorb everything to the point we're at now today.
Awesome.
Shaad started in our purchasing and receiving area, unloading boxes from the UPS, FedEx, all of that, and counting in goods, and has slowly graduated and moved up in the company,
That's
and
right.
has learned many, 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 many positions. I think he knows every position now.
Good.
At least a little bit
That's
of it,
really
right?
important.
Enough to bump and feel its way
Yeah.
through. So
It's important.
it is important, yes.
And it sounds like with Shaad, with you, Cheryl, you have a lot of employees that have been there a long time. What is the secret to that longevity and keeping folks there?
The Silkworm secret sauce.
Okay. Are you willing to reveal it or parts of it?
I mean, I think it comes down to one of the simple things is taking care of your team. Take care of your team, they'll take care of your customers, kind of a thing. And so we really focus on that. We try to do things, and food. I think food is another big secret
is
sauce to it. So between those two things, just trying to create a family environment and really mean it, and not just kind of say it, is I think a big part of what makes people want to stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah. Our company culture is very, very, very important to Bob and I, and the foundation of the company, along with our mission and values and everything. And, as we were building the company, we were like, we're here a third of our life. You work a third of your life when you put things into perspective. So the people that your team that you work with, you want to make sure you enjoy them and that you guys get along and you take care of them. And we do, treat them like family. And, talking the talk is easy, but walking the walk, you have to do it every day and be consistent and take care of them.
Share more about that culture. What values? You don't have to name them all, but which ones rise to the top?
Well, I mean, again, family is very, very important. So if Shaad would come to me and say, Cheryl, I've got to, blah, blah, it's like, go. It's not, oh, do you have PTO or do you have this? Or it's like, go take care of your family. We'll figure it out. And we do. And so that's one thing, we have a lot of, families with kids, older parents. It's the gauntlet is very wide. But again, it's family first. Take care of your family. We'll figure it out.
Right.
And then obviously just the enjoying what you do, being present at work, playing, having fun, making their day, things like that. That's the old fish philosophy from the Pike's Market that we kind of stole for. We call it the Worm Way now. Yeah, but we kind of
I love that.
Expanded upon it, yeah.
But yeah, that and just, then customer service is a very, very big foundation of our company, and making sure we don't give our customers a reason to go elsewhere.
I was
That's
going to
the
ask
thing.
about that. So what is different about your company with customer service? Because you mentioned folks around here, maybe they move away, they take you with them, and then they say, we don't have a Silkworm where we're at. So what makes you different?
Well, when they call us, they're hiring an expert. They're looking for somebody to make it to where they don't have to do this. As Cheryl said before, their job is not to order promotional products. Their job is 9 other things that we don't get to see. So how do we make it easy to do business with? How do we make it convenient for them? So that comes down to its communication. It's what's the least amount of times we can reach out to the customer and still get exactly what they want, so that they can keep doing what they need to be doing. And then having a great art team behind us is a big part of that, because they create some really amazing designs that can just wow people, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for easy to do business with, but a great product, great quality, and we're able to do all of those things.
Did you say how many employees you currently have?
Right around 70.
Okay. And it's a big piece of property, too. Do you know square footage of how big that place is? Because I don't want people to assume that this is just like a storefront.
It's 30 some odd thousand.
Yeah.
The entire facility now is 30 some odd thousand square feet. We've added on twice to the old furniture store.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was an old furniture store at one time, and people were like, "What are you going to do with all this space?" And I'm like, we don't know. Here we are. Two add-ons later, and another annex that we call it that has production up in there too. So another key I think with customer service too is our team has autonomy, so they know what our processes are and what our promises are to our customers, and quality orders delivered on time with awesome customer service. Order it, proof your art, know it's going to be there on time.
Right.
Yeah. And we're human, we make mistakes, but we take care of them. You call, you let us know. It's like, oh my gosh, let us get you taken care of. Do you have an event? What do you no, or oh, it's Navy ink, we can deal with it. Just want again, it's just listening to your customers and letting them tell you what's going on.
Right.
And then taking ownership and making it right. Which is a lost art.
It really is. And I know, SI Now is a customer, and you've helped us, especially in the beginning when we were just getting all those foundational pieces. You mentioned promotional products and how we were branded and for events and all of that sort of thing. And I remember, Cheryl, I think it was you, we were trying to get a backdrop and some different things. And we had a few picked out, and you said, well, those will be fine, but can I suggest this one? And you did that, very just kindly, but you knew what was best, and you knew what product was going to really meet our needs, and it's absolutely perfect. We get compliments on it all the time, and so for those who might be new to Silkworm, though, or maybe they're local and they've driven by that building and don't know what's going on inside, or maybe they're around the country and you have a website and that sort of thing they can access. You've mentioned promotional products, but that's a pretty...
What is that?
What is that? What does that mean?
Anything that you want to put your brand or logo or idea on. It could be pens, pencils, it could be stress balls, it could be mugs.
My children.
It could be key tags. You know what? We have presses. They're cylinder presses that you might frown upon, and it would be hard getting that ink off their forehead. But, I guess we could, print them if you wanted us to. But, it's basically everything that you see out and about. Flags, grand opening flags, teardrop flags, banners, awards, medals. It's endless. Cloisonne pens, challenge coins. Just, again, it's endless.
The online catalog does seem endless.
It's wild, yeah.
It's hundreds of thousands of products, and there are hundreds and thousands of vendors. So I think where we come in and make a difference is we've been in business so long. So like our customers, we have a really great relationship with our vendors who are all over the United States. So what we do is we pare down. If you would come to us and say, hey, I have an event next Friday, well, I've got to find a vendor that's maybe a one-day ship that gives me a rush, that I know the quality is going to be good and their values align with ours and they give quality. So that's something else we bring to the table.
I think you've done that for us as well.
Yeah.
Kind of a last minute, oh my goodness, can we get this here in time? And you did.
Yeah.
And that's not the ideal, on our end to be coming to anyone with
But it's
kind of
the
this
common.
last minute need, but sometimes it
normal.
happens.
It happens.
And
Life
you
happens.
did it beautifully. So
Great. And so we didn't disappoint, and
No.
we made you feel good and all of that. So
Absolutely.
And our team knows that. They're all professionals, and my shtick is, I'll always do what you want, i.e. the trade show display that you wanted. But this is why you pay us. This is why you come to us. This is what I would recommend. But we'll do whatever you want.
Right.
So
Well, we took your advice. It was spot on.
easy to put up.
Yeah.
That's the big
Oh,
thing.
my goodness.
Yeah. Some of
easy.
the displays look really, really grandiose, but then you get into it and you're just like, oh, they're hard to
So
put up.
easy.
And you can get the same effect with So
That's good. Do you guys have like mile markers in your growth because you've been around for such a long time that you're like finally reached like a regional and then you finally reach like a national? Is there any milestones like that where you're like just grew so much? And
Right. I think the milestones I always connect to is when we moved buildings or added on. That's how I can keep track of what was going on. It's like, okay, well, in 95 we moved to this building, in 05 we added on, in 15 we did this. Like that's in my head. Those are the milestones that kind of are and business was driving that, whether it was a niche or a need or a growth that we were going through. Those are the kind of milestones that I think of in my head. You've got more of an eye for the sales side of it, yeah.
Yeah. Ours is more, we kind of look at demographics, what do we want to go after? What type of demographic is going to add to our bottom line in businesses, and not maybe just one account or here or there, but which we target. But, we try to manage our growth now because the volume we do, because again, every order is custom. So it takes a lot to process all of those orders, and we want to maintain our customer service for our existing customers. So again, you've got to see what your ability is for, production, and are we at 80% or are we at 60% or we're at 100%? What months, because it's a cyclical business, So there's just a lot that goes into it, thought processes, and then of course we do wing it, and if it sticks to the wall, it sticks. So
We look like geniuses.
yeah, it's like, that worked, but so it's kind of how we do it now.
That's good. You've mentioned this somewhat, but like community is really important. That's where we all start, right? Is in our community. And working at Brim, I worked at Brim Preparatory School for almost 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
You were our go-to, right? And can you name of like other organizations or other entities that have been like, that's who we keep. That's who has helped us grow. Very important to your growth.
Yeah.
People, community, organizations.
Yeah. Southern Illinois, for the most part, is very good about understanding the importance of keeping your business local and what the businesses in your local economy do for everything that may not affect you, but it may affect your grandkids or your nieces or, your wife or your partner or whatever. Because I find our businesses here are very generous when it comes to supporting, events, programs, things like that. So, I don't want to single out one business. I just think the region as a whole gets it.
Yeah.
There's some we have to retrain.
Right.
It's like, where'd you get that scab product? But,
Well, and in a day where the online stores that we won't
Yeah.
mention are,
Sure.
a dime a dozen and seem to be the easy, cheap way to go
until it's not.
Right?
Yeah.
So keeping that local mindset is so important.
Yeah.
So you talked about how you take care of your customers, how you take care of each other, your company, your team. We often ask businesses about their support system and entrepreneurs. So who takes care of you? Who takes care of and helps support Silkworm and its growth?
I know me personally, as far as like mentors and who's really supported my growth through Silkworm has been Bob and Cheryl. And being that I came on at 18 and most of what I learned in my kind of business formidable years was everything that they were teaching me through all that. So as far as mentors go, they were the best I could have at this moment, especially for where we're at today, to go, oh, okay, well, this all worked out quite nicely. I think everybody agrees that it worked out quite nicely on that side. But, the support that I got from them was pretty killer.
Right.
Yeah. I think internally we have a strategic team that we support each other with our ideas and, the continued growth and things. I was very fortunate to be able to be out in the communities. So my customers became my friends, my mentors, because most of them had been in business or had started their business from the ground up. So I had no issues going in and saying, hey, confidentially, we're working with this right now. How would you handle that? And they were, for the most part, all of them great mentors, very transparent, so I would encourage everyone to build those relationships with your community partners that have been in business, that know what they're doing, that will be transparent with you and honest, and say, oh, well, you could do A, B, or C. A may get you this, B may get you this, So
Sure.
that's kind of, and then there are professional organizations that you can be a part of, and we have a few that we belong to.
Yeah.
I know IMAC is one of them, which is a manufacturing source, and kind of left that to the other side of the business. We have different sides of the business, but we just try to use what is available to us.
Good.
And I think you hit on a key point, the business community itself and those other business leaders. I'm sure this isn't so unique to Southern Illinois, but I think we have a really special business community here in the region, and people willing to help one another and share those ideas and not keep it so close. So yeah, that's a great resource.
And mentoring works both ways. So what's something that you may have learned from Shaad or over the years? Yeah.
Well, Shaad is a very thought process person and a very, he's very even keeled, and I'm going to count to 10, I think, before I address something. And growing up in the business and trying to wear 18,000 hats, and you're doing sales and you're doing marketing, and you got to do this and this. A lot of it was instant knee jerk.
Move as fast
So
as you
that's
can.
how I grew up. And then as we continued to grow and get more people, it was very black and white, which could come across abrasive. So I had to really woe up a little bit and understand myself. Not that I meant it abrasive, but it was how it was taught.
Sure.
So Shaad was a really good mentor for me on that aspect. And
There you go.
Bob is like that too, but Bob's kind of a quiet person. But we have great conversations about everything. So
Absolutely.
Good answer.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Cheryl, tell us about the buying process.
Well, since we do have custom products and every order is custom, every order has a different timeline for production. So the buying process varies with what you order. However, what we do is we encourage people to plan if they can and try to give us 10 to 15 working days from start to finish. Some products we can get faster, some take longer, and that's where the communication with the customers come in and being transparent and, hey, we may not be able to get this for you, but we can get this for you in that timeline. Does it work? And then basically you place your order, you see your graphics. If you have input or references, that's great. You love your graphics, or you're like, I like that font, but can I change this color? So you go back and forth, minimal, and then you approve your artwork, and then your order goes into production, and you wipe your hands and wait for it to arrive.
So planning is key.
It is, theoretically. I mean, it is key.
Planning
but
is ideal.
It is.
Ideal. Yes, that's a good word. Yeah.
Planning is ideal.
Yeah, I mean, we know school's getting ready to start. So if you have something getting ready to start for school, or if you have an event coming up in the fall is lots of events and races. And this, if you have a grand opening, or if you're going to start a business and you need logo development, that's not something you want to come in 3 weeks before you open. That's a process, We encourage everybody to have references. If you're a lot of people, I'm not very artistic. It's okay. You know what you like. If you see something, it doesn't even really have to be in the lane of what you're doing. Just if something catches your eye, that's what catches your eye. Take a picture, rip it out of a magazine, do whatever you need to do.
Just the inspiration, because that's what you all are there for. You're the experts. They don't have to be the experts in all the design and all the things, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're there for.
And all of our artists are so different. They all have their own little flair and niche and things. So that's what's great too. So, yeah.
So what is next for Silkworm? Cheryl, you said you've been there pretty much since the beginning, maybe not with the ham sandwich in the basement, but pretty much since the beginning. And Shaad, you've been there a long time. What's next for Silkworm?
Do you want to go first?
You go. What's next, Shaad?
Well,
There's a pregnant pause there. I think that's what you
He's
call
like,
it.
Is this the breaking news?
So no, I mean I don't think it's any secret that Bob and Cheryl are both have an exit strategy. They are looking for their next thing of retirement or whatever that next
Well-deserved,
project is.
by the way,
Absolutely,
right?
yes. And so we've been working on transition team, myself, our HR director, and a couple other people of, what are our next steps, who's taking the reins, and how all that's going. So it's been a process. We've had a strategic team for, probably around 10 years or so. And knowing that process is something that is important. I remember early on in that process going to a seminar or just like, don't plan succession at the funeral home or something like that. And it was like, oh yeah, that's something serious that we have to be involved in and engaged in. And so we took that seriously, and we've been working that process the entire time, and to the point where I think we're within a couple of years of that next move, and I'm not scared of it at all. I feel like we've really handled that process really well, and the communication with the team, the communication with just overall the whole process, being in the middle of it all has been really good. It's been a really solid, fully communication, fully transparent process that if we would have done it in a quicker way or done it in a way where there wasn't nearly as much handing off of the guard, it would have been like, what are we doing at this point? So.
And don't so many businesses find themselves right there in that last sentence that you said, like deciding, okay, I think I'm ready to retire, and maybe it's a few months from now, or maybe even a year from now. But you said 10 years, right? That you all have really been working on this. I think that's a real, that's really good advice to folks that are listening, that you've worked really hard to build a really strong company, and so the transition of that company is equally as important.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, and Bob and I call this our class project. Silkworm is our class project. And I had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, I see you guys here still. You're like not just sitting with your feet on your desk. You're working. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do. They're like, why are you guys still here? And I'm like, well, because we haven't gotten an A on our class project yet. There's still things that need to be done, but, obviously, we are very grateful for the opportunity of building the business and maintaining the business, and all of our fabulous team members and children that we have, raised over the years, as what we call them. But Bob and I aren't I'll speak for myself, but we're similar creatures, not where we're just going to up and leave. Our goal is to probably always be involved with the strategic team, and we meet weekly, so we'll do that, and coming in, once a week or whatever. And, this has been great for me because I've been on FMLA and been out for 10 weeks.
And those who can see, so those who are listening can't see this, but those who see on our YouTube video, you have a little sling and little bandage on your shoulder. So
I had major rotator cuff surgery. So I now own the record at Orthopedic Institute for the longest shoulder surgery.
Oh my goodness.
3.5 hours.
Oh, no.
He was it was a
goodness.
mess. I'm like, anyway, so that was a sidebar.
Well, we're glad you're healing and that you're here.
Awards. We like to win awards. So, I won that one. But anyway, so, our goal is to still be involved. But, and I think with most businesses, or any business as it should be, you worry about what's going to be lost in transition. What are the key things that make Silkworm Silkworm? What are the key things that we allow us to retain our team members for 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 years? What are we doing that we don't want that to get lost with the new leadership? So I think, planning that, communicating that, and then growing up Silkworm is a lot, really having people and team members that have been in the business and seen it all and understand this is why they make those decisions. This is what's going on, so which I feel like we've done a really, really good job with Shaad and Kale transitioning, and then their support staff. And again, we have longevity in our supervisors and our team leaders, and they all get it. They understand what Silkworm is about and why we're still in business.
So although new ideas and new things may come with this next season, still the core of what Silkworm is and how they treat their customers, all of those things will stay the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Correct. Never give
That's
them
the
a reason to go
foundation.
That's
elsewhere.
right. It's the foundation.
Yeah. Got to keep them coming back.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want 40 plus years of the founder's experience still available at any moment? She's even when she's not in the office, she's a text away.
Right.
Bob the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is appropriate time for your flag question.
Well, it's my favorite question of every single interview, and it is about your why. I think you shared a little bit of that, both of you, throughout the interview. But what is your individual whys or company whys? I'll let you answer that how you'd like.
On a personal level, my why, which is always was funny, but what I'd tell my friends and family growing up is that, being in, what I loved about my job was being the creativity part of it. But I was in accounting, and a creative accounting isn't necessarily something that you want, because for obvious reasons, creative accounting is not necessarily great. But it wasn't the accounting part that was creative. It was, and I was never in the artistic T-shirt creating. It was systems and processes and getting to create and get involved with the teams and building things from scratch. And I can wake up one morning and go, what about this? And then I have the autonomy and the ability to just go and explore what that could be and how we could grow a different aspect of the business or make something better for it. And that definitely is my why, that creative aspect of it.
Cheryl?
My why, I would have to say, is just being a part of building something that is really, really cool and special, and it's a great place to work that people, I think, respect and love. We've had consultants come in and we do different things, and when they do their analysis and stuff, they're like, we can't find anybody to say anything bad about you. And I'm like, well, you're not asking the right people. but yeah, personally, professionally, anyway. But and I'm a Southern Illinois girl. I'm born, raised, bred in Murphysboro. I went to Murphysboro High School. My families were from there. So understanding family values and perception and not making sure that we did things right, and Bob was the same way. His family was known, and just building a business that did things right and was respected in the community, and that I still love going to work every day, and going back to and meeting great people. You get to meet all kinds of different friends and customers and build relationships, and it's been a really, really great opportunity, and I've been very blessed and very fortunate. So, and Southern Illinois is great. I mean, people are like, why are you in Southern Illinois? I'm like, why would I not be? I can fly anywhere I want to fly. I can drive to Paducah. I can drive to St. Louis. I can drive to wherever you want to go, travel the world, I'm like, wherever you go, there you are. You can be successful anywhere you go.
That's right.
You just have to understand what it takes to be successful and commit to it.
It's good.
Well, you've done it well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap up, how would a person find you so that you can serve them?
Usually in the office at Silkworm. No. I mean, honestly, Silkworm, call us 618-687-4077. And if you want to just chat, ask for Shaad.
Sure.
I'm very available.
And the website?
Website is straight.
Website is www.silkwormink.com.
Okay, very good.
That's a little play on incorporated, but with the t-shirt ink, so INK.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank everyone for watching and listening to the Small Town Big Business podcast. And we want to thank our sponsors for really caring about small businesses and entrepreneurs and supporting us. And thanks again to Arcadia Wealth Group, Banterra Bank, Black Diamond Harley Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, Southern Illinois Now, the Swinford Media Group, Union Street Arts, and the WAG Foundation, the Watermark Auto Group Foundation.
Very good. And again, you can find us on your favorite podcast platform. Over 100 episodes now. And don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. We love sharing this information and all of these great stories, resources, tips, all the things with everyone. So again, I'm Deb Barnett with Southern Illinois Now. You can find us at southernillinoisnow.org.
And I'm Russell Williams, Director of EThOs at the Citadel. Please go to our website, ethosmarion.org, and join as a community member, which is free, but you'll get updates about what we do, small business incubation, training and development for small business and nonprofit owners, and also the co-working spaces. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Have a great day.